What's going on, Bully fam? It's your boy, the educator, the scientist, Mr. Double Muscle Line Bulls, bringing you another quick episode of Breeders Hacks. So, all right, guys, I've been getting a lot of DMs, a lot of questions about this. Should you breed back to back? Should you skip a heat? What do we do here? Things like that. So we're gonna answer that question today. Guys, I just got my hair cut, so y'all already know what that means. Got a little bit of a drive, so we're gonna go ahead and tackle this question, right? So what we do here, and I've spoken to various vets, different reproductive specialists, things like that. All their answers have kind of varied, you know what I'm saying? They have different opinions. I mean, just like vets, you have some vets that are for breeding and some vets that are against breeding, things like that. Now, in this opinion that I've kind of gone with and formulated and applied to my dogs and my program, I have like two reproductive specialists, reproductive vets that I speak to that I really kind of take their advice when they give it. So pretty much the conclusion that I've come to when it comes to, do I skip heats for females? Do I continue to just, keep breeding heat after heat after heat, things like that? This is kind of what I've narrowed it down to. After speaking with the repro vet, I breed every heat. So I don't really skip heats. In certain situations, I would skip a heat. Like, let's say the female ran into complications, I would definitely skip the heat then. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I just breed back to back. And the reason being is because of the fact that, and what was explained to me by my repro vet, is the fact that the female uterus, when you're breeding your females, whether you breed them or not, meaning like if they go into a heat and you don't breed them, their body, their uterus still takes a pounding, believe it or not. And like their body really kind of goes through a lot of the similar things when as if they would have had the litter or not. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the crazy thing that I did not know until years ago when I found this out. So anyway, like I said, so that's what the repro specialist kind of explained to me, and I did research, and I agree with what she said. Their uterus takes a pounding when they go through their heats. So you actually should breed them. You might as well breed them. And in certain instances, breeding them can actually be good for their health and getting out, flushing out like the uterus and things like that, So with that being said, I breed them every heat, and now before jump the gun and saying, oh, well, I don't overbreed my dogs, So our rule, and yet again, this is kind of with an alignment with what my repro vet suggests. We do 4, about the max. Sometimes I only need to get in maybe even 2 breedings, but the max we breed with the females really like 4. In my opinion, and this is what also my mentor taught me as well, is like, if you can't outproduce that dog within 4 breedings, then either that dog really isn't, it's just not producing for you, or you need to go back to the drawing board and see why your breedings aren't producing better dogs off of the dogs that you're breeding. So 4 breedings is really like the max. If you can't outproduce that dog within 4 breedings, then you got to go back to the drawing board. So that's pretty much the rule that we do here. And it really is also ideal for the dog, because you think about it, go ahead and do 4 breedings, the females are still, they're relatively younger. They still have plenty of life to them, so they can go on and hurry up, get their breedings done and over with, and then they can make great pets or whatever the case it may be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if we complete the 4 breedings here at home, they're not going to be going to another camp and for them to breed or anything like that. That's it for them. So then they can go ahead and get fixed, and live still long, nice, healthy lives. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of what we do here, and I think that's ideal. If you can get their breedings done back to back, they'll get their breedings done out of the way, and they can go on and live nice, long, healthy lives, because of the fact that if you're not breeding the dog, and this is also what the repro vet suggested, is if you're not breeding the dog, remember that uterus is still taking a beating. It's still going through the cycle to a degree as if she was having the puppies. So why do that if you're not going to breed the dog? So at that point, you should just fix the dog, So some people think, and I thought this way as well, like some people think that, okay, what I'll do is, I'll do this breeding, skip a heat, do the next breeding, skip a heat, and actually that's not ideal, I mean, they're not, dogs, say, like in the wild or something like that, they wouldn't be doing that. They wouldn't be skipping a heat, then breeding, skipping a heat, then breeding. You know what I'm saying? So it's better while they're young, while they have, plenty of momentum, life, energy, things like that. While their bodies are younger and built to be able to do that. And on another note, and this is going to be a whole other episode, but you want to make sure that the female is ready to be breed in the first place. That's a whole other topic I'll get into. Making sure that, you're not really breeding when they're too young. You know what I'm saying? Like puppies, like, that's a whole other thing. But like I said, when the female is ready of age and ready to be bred, it's definitely, like I said, ideal to just get your breedings knocked out back to back, because then, let's just say the female comes into heat every 6 to 8 months, whatever the case may be. Within 2-3 years, the female can be done breeding. You know what I'm saying, and still have plenty of life, and like I said, and plenty of energy, and live a great life with the new pet home or whatever the case may be. Whatever you decide to do. So I just wanted to kind of answer that question, because I think people get confused, and overall, when you think of the big picture, if more breeders were to do that and just kind of get the breedings knocked out of the way, more dogs could just quickly go on and live better lives, rather than the breeder thinking that they're doing the better thing or the right thing, and skipping heats and whatnot, and now the dog is in more of a breeding situation a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, in my opinion, pet homes are like the best homes. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing other than the dog is just going to be getting love from a family, a pet family, and ideally them being the only dog and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I hope that answers that question, guys. If you got any other questions, any topics you want to see me touch on, drop a comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Breeders Hacks.